How will you say somebody is your friend, he has an obvious disadvantage, and you don't want to talk to him about it? Among your circle of friends, everybody already have their babies. This particular person hasn't got a baby yet. Your friend tells you, I'm currently bankrupt. Your friend tells you that I'm dealing with this health challenge. Should you be quiet about it? A dear friend inspired me to do this video, and I believe that you may be able to get something to learn or to benefit from it. This friend of ours had been a friend since when we were very young. Got to a stage of his life that had a challenge that was obvious to all of us as friends, and miraculously there came a solution. We had the opportunity to gather with him somewhere, and then if another friend of ours was doing something, so all of us were on the same table with this particular friend. He raised an issue with all of us and said he knows all of us know about his problem, and that he also knows that all of us now know that the problem is over, and that we have all celebrated him and rejoiced with him and identified with him. After that, he said, but you know what he found very interesting, that for all of us, his friends, these are his closest friends, 5 of us we were, that none of us talked to him about it when he had the problem. That all of us knew the problem individually, and none of us talked to him about it. None of us asked him what was the problem exactly. Does he know the cause? Has he looked for solution? Does he know where to get solution? That all of us were quiet, and that when the solution came, all of us showed up to celebrate with him. That he really found that very surprising that we would do that to him. He now said it's not as if it's either of us that had the same problem, he would have also done anything different. But he's just surprised how somebody can have an obvious problem and his friends don't talk about it. When he said so, I felt very bad. Very bad. I felt very bad because what he said is true. I never asked him about this issue, never did, and none of us did. There was no basis for it. I apologized to him. I told him I'm sorry that I felt I should discuss it, but I felt that it's a very sensitive conversation, and that if I discuss with him, he may get offended. And he said, well, you could still raised it. I mean, if I get offended, it would be that I raised it, then he got offended. And I agree with him. And I learned a lesson that day that it seems as if we don't know how to deal with sensitive issues with our friends. It seems as if we don't have the skills, the ability, we don't have that thing that makes us to raise issues that are sensitive with our friends. I don't know whether I'm the only one, but I think it's a challenge that we all need to face. How will you say somebody is your friend, he has an obvious disadvantage, and you don't want to talk to him about it? I remember I once asked someone about a friend of his that I know, closer to the person, and I was asking, and the person said, I know he has that problem, but I'm not going to discuss that with him because I think it may be sensitive. Yeah, that's why you are friends. If you, his friend, won't discuss with him, who should? His enemies? I also think there's also the dimension when your friend comes to tell you something that is not working, and then you immediately respond and you keep quiet. That's the part I never get. Like your friend tells you, this happened to me. I got involved in a separation from my spouse. Your friend tells you, I lost my job. Your friend tells you, I'm currently bankrupt. Your friend tells you that I'm dealing with this health challenge. Your friend tells you, oh, I'm a pastor, my church is not growing. And you say, oh, so sorry. You get concerned. Maybe you pray or whatever you do at that instance. And that's all you do. You don't come back to check after a week or two to ask, so how is it going? I think it's better. I'm not even talking yet about you helping to solve the problem. I'm just saying showing enough concern. I think one of the things we can start to use technology for is to remind us of things like that. So when your friend makes that call and say, oh, my son wrote jam and failed, and you say, oh, sorry, this is what you should do, I know what you should do, and all of that, why don't you just put a reminder on your phone, check with John or Abraham in a week's time or in 2 weeks' time about the son's performance or whatsoever. We should not have this attitude of not checking up on people when they have told us what problem they are dealing with. We should also not have this attitude of ignoring people when they know they have obvious problems. I don't know what is the value of friendship if you cannot be able to raise sensitive things with somebody you call your friends. And I think it's something we need to talk about. Now, it's a different thing if you now talk with your friend and that friend says, I don't want you to talk about it. You have done your best, but you have done something. What do you think? Do you think we do a good job standing with people who are suffering? In the midst of 25, 30, 10, 5 friends, all of them are married, one of them is not married, and they know the person deserves to marry, and nobody talks to the person. Do you think that's the best thing to do? Among your circle of friends, everybody already have their babies. This particular person hasn't got a baby yet. Should you be quiet about it? All of you have gotten jobs. This person has not gotten a job. Should you be quiet about it? Everybody has got cars. This person doesn't have a car yet. Should you be quiet about it? I think it's something we need to think about as we talk about our friends and what friends do to themselves. If we're quiet when people have challenges, then we're missing an opportunity to be good friends and to be friends that are helpful to other people. I'm doing this for myself too because I also struggle with it. But when my friend told me that, which happened many years ago, I've become a better person. I would rather ask and you tell me I shouldn't ask you than assume that I shouldn't ask. And who knows, maybe I may have a solution at the end of the day. So what do you think? Should we be quiet when we know our friends are in challenges? Number two, when our friends tell us what are their challenges, should we check on until when they get a solution? And number three, are those people really our friends or are we their friends? Because I feel like if we are really their friends, we will not do those things. What do you think?